and welcome to WomanVision TV. I'm your host, Nadia Giordana. Today is May 8th, and I'm talking with Marie Olofsdotter. She is the artist recently selected to do the commemorative artwork for the 2013 Minnesota State Fair. Born and raised in Sweden, she now lives on the Mississippi River in Minneapolis. She often shares her creative enthusiasm for the arts with the Walker Art Center, the Loft Literary Center, and many others. There's a link on the screen you can follow to learn more about Marie Olofsdotter and what she does. Right now, let's go talk to her. Welcome to WomanVision TV, Marie.
Thank you. Thank you, and hello everyone.
I wanted to talk with you a bit. We talked at first, or I told the audience at first about some of the things you've done through your life. But before we talk about the Minnesota State Fair artwork, tell us a little bit about when it was that you decided you wanted to be an artist, and how did you decide to make a career out of it?
Well, I'm one of those people with the mythology of that I drew before I walked, practically. So I think I've always been an artist, and of course now I work as a teaching artist, and I think all children are. But I followed that path and went to art school in Sweden, where I was born and raised, and then took 1 year of art school to go to California to clown school, physical theater school.
Clown school?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was amazing because I had been a very shy person, and it just really pushed me and helped me grow, helped me improvise. I like to say everything I needed to know life I learned in clown school.
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, where does your inspiration come from?
I would say that my inspiration comes from nature, largely. I have certain recurring themes, river, birds, and just images that I love like that. And my art is very centered on the, I would say, divine feminine, the goddess perhaps, and Mother Earth, those kinds of images.
Well, you came to the United States. Was that where the clown school took place?
I had gone 1 year in Stockholm, and it so happened my teacher was fantastic, was from Duluth, which no one had heard of course. But I went to the school he'd gone to, which was in California, not in California. And
then was it some years later that you moved to the United States?
No, it was right afterwards. I was hired to perform in the Commedia dell'arte show during the summer following my year in clown school. And that took place in Bemidji and all over northern Minnesota. So that's how I ended up in Minneapolis.
Oh, that is so exciting.
Yeah, I came with a backpack and $400 to my name through a thunderstorm.
That is fun. Well, how does being an expatriate affect your artwork and your inspiration?
I think it's a massive effect, even though I've been here for quite some time now, is that you carry within you many, many layers. And I carry within me the Nordic, Scandinavian, if you will, certain sensibilities, the closeness to nature perhaps, certain equalities between men and women that I found different in the United States. So those kinds of things you carry with you. And then also you're bilingual. Of course, I'm bilingual. So you become a citizen of the world. And that too is part of who you are, and that's just there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your artwork and some of the other things that you do, your books. This behind us is an example of your art, and I'll let you talk.
Well, this is a series of goddess images, and this is a moon goddess holding a little owl. And then I have two other that I brought with me to show you. This was the first image in the series, and it is the Mississippi River. And then in her palm she has a little white cat, mostly just for fun.
I love the Mississippi River.
I love the
cats.
And cats. And I happen to have a white cat. So that's that one. And the latest in the series that I painted is the sun. And all of these images can be seen on my website.
I've seen them.
So those are two images. And I brought one more with me.
Yeah, show that one.
Speaking about birds, this one I call Creative Wind. Just a woman enjoying the creativity within there, symbolized by these red birds.
And almost little girl-like in her demeanor.
Certain innocence,
Mm-hmm.
spaciousness.
Mm-hmm.
We were mentioning the commemorative art for the State Fair,
Yeah.
and in that process of applying to do that art, you send work samples. I think I sent 5, and this was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a couple of books.
Yes, because I am a painter, obviously, and a clown, but I'm also a picture book writer and a poet, and I love to illustrate. And this is a book that I wrote some time ago that's still available and very dear to my heart. It's carried now by Holy Cow Press, a literary press up in Duluth, a wonderful publisher, and it's called Sophia and the Heartmender. And it also has a deep nature theme, and this is a healing story, Heartmender, of course.
And you do the artwork.
Did the artwork and wrote the story. And in the last book I just illustrated, was for Holiday House, and it's a picture book of Cesar Chavez, written by David Adler. Those are some examples of my work.
Oh, those look great. Well, tell us a little bit about the State Fair and the process working with that art.
The process this year was a little different than previous years, in that you needed to provide a sketch. And also there's an element of collaboration, which is natural to me, because the other thing I do is work extensively as a teaching artist. And I collaborate with other artists, with teachers and schools and kids too, of course. So I did my sketch, and I sent in, as I mentioned, the image with the red birds, and also an image from this book to illustrate my idea in images. And then I was selected to be a finalist, which was amazing, and had a wonderful interview, and was chosen in December, and couldn't share that information until January, because I have to keep it secret.
Oh, that's hard to keep a
It was
secret
hard to
like
keep it
that.
secret. I could tell my mom in Sweden, because she doesn't, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't have anyone
No,
locally
there
here
wouldn't
to
be,
tell,
no.
so you could at least tell your mom.
I could tell my mom.
That's appropriate for Mother's Day coming
know,
up.
Yeah. And then we worked on the imagery together. Those were my ideas that, we worked certain collaborative elements into, and it was a fantastic, delightful process from beginning to end.
Oh, how great. Well,
And it's not over yet, because
No.
we still have our unveiling, and then we still have the fair, and I'll be speaking at a fair luncheon, so yeah.
yeah, there are a lot of things coming up, and thanks for coming into the studio today.
You're
We're
welcome.
going to continue this story at the official unveiling of the artwork that Marie created for the 2013 State Fair. And that'll be in the next segment, so hold on, and it'll be coming up.
Da, 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 da. So I just wanted to say a few things about the piece, what inspired it. I studied all the previous fair posters for quite some time, and then I went further and I went looking for vintage posters, and I noticed that there were a lot of older posters about 100 years back that had the female figure in the center and was focused on the land and grain and goods from the land. So that was my starting place. And also, I do a lot of work as a teaching artist in rural Minnesota, and I have a strong affinity to the land. And I just think we're in a beautiful state, and so I wanted to honor that, the roots of our fair, and so that was the inspiration for this. And of course, I live by the Mississippi River and love the river, so the river had to be in there, and of course, the actual fair as well. So that was my inspiration. Thank you. One little thing that I wanted to mention is that as part of this year's commission was a collaborative element. And so we actually collaborated on this part in particular I told the team, the Stage Fair team, I want you to decide what goes here. And we had several meetings, and we did cut and paste out of photographs and put this together. And throughout the process, it was a collaboration. I would take photographs and send and get feedback as needed. So that was just a really juicy part of this.
Talk about the birds.
The birds, the crows.
Yeah.
I think that's a Marie thing, really. Oh, that brings me to another thing. I do have some other original art back in this room because I wanted to bring one of the pieces that was a work sample. I just think it's fun to see process. And it's a piece with the hair flowing and red birds in there. So that's why I'm saying it's sort of a Marie thing to have the birds. Plus also, don't we have a lot of crows in Minnesota? And they come to the fair. No, we had talked about who she should be, and I tried to make her so that she could be every woman. And we actually named her, Robin actually named her, Serafina. Isn't that perfect?
Yeah.
So this is Serafina. This is happy to meet you all.
Are you kidding me? These rings are giveaways. These are